Thank you to Andy and Ellie for giving us a really rowdy start to the night. Truly set the tone. If you want to clear a little bit of your mess up, that would be lovely, because we are going to be a bit of space down the front here. So we're thinking about this theme about outside, inside, what's really important. So a bit of image, but also hearts and what's going on the inside. And we're going to do something a bit different this evening to help us unpack this. What we're going to do is we're going to look at a moment in the Bible, a moment in the story of Israel, and we're going to try and bring it alive, sort of to life in here, in this place together. So come with me. We're going to go back to a time, a long time ago, in fact a few thousand years ago now, in Israel, the story of Israel, and they've had a king, and he started off good. His name was King Saul. He started off good, but then it all went a bit pear-shaped, and he became a pretty awful king. And God spoke to this guy called Samuel, who was a prophet, and said, it's time for Israel to have a new king. It's time for Israel to have a new king. And I want you to go to this land quite far away and find the house of Jesse, because in the house of Jesse, one of Jesse, that was a man, that's not a name we use, but in the house of Jesse, one of his sons is to be the new king. I want you to go find him. And so Samuel went on this journey to the house of Jesse. And so what I want to do is have a little bit of a contest, if you like, here this evening, and bring it to life, and think about, right, we are looking for the next king. All right, and this is the house of Jesse here. And so Samuel's travelled a long way and has come to this house, the house of Jesse. And one of the sons in here, so girls, you're off the hook straight away, because it's the sons. One of the sons in here is going to be the next king. And the leaders, I don't really want them that involved. So we're going to say that the leaders here this evening, they're not the sons, they are the slaves in the house of Jesse, okay? And you can make the most of that. And so if you're thirsty and you'd like a drink, or you'd like something collective in the back, you can turn and ask a leader, and they will go and get you a drink or something, because they are your slaves for the evening, okay? So that's the house of Jesse. So if you're not a leader, then and you're a guy, then you're one of the sons. You're in the house of Jesse. You're one of the family. Now, Nathan and Zach are almost like half and half, but Nathan's desperate to be one of the contenders for the throne. And so we're going to let them play. We're going to keep them involved, okay? So I know. He was saying to me yesterday, please, can I be like one of the contenders? Okay, so we're going to find out. We're going to try and pull out some of the contenders for the throne, because Samuel went down to the house of Jesse, and obviously explained to Jesse what he was doing. And he was like, come on then, let's get some of your sons up, and let's see what they're about, and let's see if they're going to be the next king of Israel. What an incredible moment. And so Jesse pulled out like most of his sons. And so we're going to do that. We're going to pull out some sons. So I've got some categories that I think might help us. So we'll start really, really simple. The first category is the tallest. So I think, that would make a good king should be a tall person. So we are looking for the tallest son in the room. So who is that? Leaders are out because they're the slaves. They're not sons, they're slaves. Don't forget that throughout the evening. They're slaves. Your person are the slaves. Okay, so Nathan must be close here, mustn't he? Nathan, stand up. Okay, Matt, please. You stand up. Right, can we just and this is simple, we can work this out, can't we? So can you just do some like back to back, and can we just eliminate the shorter people? Nathan, sit down, Nathan. Nathan, sit down. You don't win that category. Right, so between these two, back to back, please, back to back. Who is it? Zach's got it. Is anybody taller than Zach? No, we are. No, Zach, you're our first contender. We're going to just make space to the front and stand along the front of the contenders. So we have our first contender. So Jesse pulled out some of the sons. We would have pulled out his tallest son, definitely. Let's think. I think he would have pulled out the strongest son. So we need the strongest son in the house. Okay, now. Jack? Alright, okay. Well, so we can have a few nominations. Nathan, really? Let's. Reggie. Who's Reggie? What about Seth? What we're going to do is we're going to have a head-to-head between two people we think are the strongest sons. So Jack has been nominated as one. And then Jack versus Seth. Okay, right, that's pretty simple. What you're going to do, you're going to need a bit more space in between you, so you get that, you get that. Okay, after 3, you raise your arms like an eagle, and you've got to hold them out straight for as long as you can, and we'll see the strength. So 3, 2, 1, and out we go. Oh, beautiful. Right. Now, whilst they do that, you should keep them up straight, Seth. Come on. Yes, he's gone right up here. That's it. Okay, hands are fairing. I'm not quite sure how long this is going to last. So do you think it's not very long? Okay, all right. I was going to say, should we move on to the next category? All right.
Keep them up.
We've got a few more categories. Let's go for the wisest. Okay, we're going to go for the wisest now. It's really, this is easy. It's just easy. Wisdom comes with age. So we're looking for the wisest, and we're looking for the oldest. So we're looking for the oldest son. So who's the oldest son? Nathan, this could be your moment. Stand up, stand up. How old are you, Nathan? 18. Anybody older than 18? Anyone 18? George? George. Oh, no. Oh, it's so close. Sit back down. Alrighty, now we're getting somewhere. Look at these fine specimens. We have. You just like automatically the wisest by default because you're the oldest son in the house. So we've got the wisest, and we need the most skillful. Now, I'm a little bit sad because any excuse to show the intro of the Soul Survivor video like a year ago. We should have had Zeph up here. We're like flying in one hit and landing it in a bathtub about 20 yards away. But he's not here. So who is skillful? Who do we think? Girls, daughters in the house. Yeah, Mappers! Come on, Mappers. Right, so we can have a couple of people. So we can have someone challenge. Who's pretty like nifty with like like, who has their chances against Matthew? Who said? Jude. Yeah, we could have Jude. Where is he? Jude is incredible. That would be great. Jack? Jack Brad? Keep going, I've lost my microphone, but I'll find it. Yeah! Really good, really good. Oh! Oh, yeah. Oh! Rimmed it. Do you think that's worth a point? Oh! Come on then. Right, last shot, you've got 2 points. Come on, Matthew! Great start. Oh, right, 2 points. Right, Jack, we get that. Okay, retrieve the ping pong balls to Jack. Yeah, you've got the same number of shots. You can try and beat 2 points if you can. If it's a draw, we'll work it out. Maybe that's be something there. Okay, Jack, let's do this. Come on, Jack. Come on, Jack. Come on, Jack. A bit higher than feet. Oh, that's one. Oh, Jack. Come on, Jack. Amazing. And is it? You don't get it that easily. You are going to have to beat somebody. So, right. We need. Yeah? So we're putting you in the most intelligent category. Are we happy with this? Are we happy with this suggestion? Okay, we're going to go with it. All right then. Right, this could be your moment, Nathan. But it could be stolen. All right. You'll know. Really simple, general knowledge questions. I've got 3. You're both going to probably just have a guess, see who gets the closest, and whoever gets the closest will win. Right, so it's just simple, right? Basically, if you counted all the cities around the world at 3 every second, okay, how long would it take you to count them all in minutes? Oh my God. I'm just going to give you a second to chew on that. Counting all the cities in the world at 3 every second. How long will it take you in minutes? Right, are you ready?
1 city for 3 seconds.
No! Listen, you're not going to get this is the question. If you counted all the cities in the world at 3 a second, you count 3 every second. So in a minute, I'll help you here. In a minute, you're counting 180. There you go, that's helped, doesn't it? So, how many minutes is it going to take to count all the cities in the world? Is that right?
35 minutes.
35 minutes from Nathan Batten. How long do you think? 54 minutes. The answer, in fact, is 1,382 minutes. Both mile off, but that's closest to 1 point. It's best of 3, best of 3. It's still in it. Man, you can do this. I believe in you. One of these categories. Right, okay. If you built like a standard scale electric track in a straight line around the world, right? How many hours would it take for a standard scale electric car to complete the circuit? Yes. Oh, yes. You got to get scale electric track going around the world. Straight line, that's a crow flies. It's pretty straightforward. How fast is a scale electric car going? Miles per hour? 12 miles per hour. How many? 12 miles per hour. When I asked the question, I asked another question. How fast is the car going? Just trying. 8 miles an hour. So there you go. So just take the mileage around the world divided by 8. Right. Okay. Right. Let's get our answers. How many hours is it going to take? Go.
650.
3,472.
It's actually 1,660, which means Nathan's closest. We're really for you, Nathan. Right, are you ready to ask a question? This is going to determine the most intelligent son in the room. If you drank 10 standard cups, so like those small plastic, or someone hold a small plastic cup, of water out of an Olympic-sized swimming pool every day, how many days would it take you to drink the pool dry? Okay, so really simple. So you just imagine the Olympic-sized swimming pool. They're pretty deep, pretty long. Yeah, quite a bit of water there. So every day you drink. It's quite disgusting, but you're drinking 10 cups of an Olympic-sized swimming pool every day. How many days would it take you to drink the pool dry? Right. Do you know this one?
Oh yeah. Really confident.
Okay. Are you ready to make a guess? Are you ready to make a guess? Let's guess first. You have to guess first twice. Do you know what you're going to say? No. Okay. Right, I'm going to give you like 5 seconds to get to an answer.
Wow.
Here we go. Right. 3,008. 3,008 days. This is the moment. How are you?
6,500.
6,000, so twice as long. Okay. Are you ready?
No.
You've done an absolute mile off because it's actually 1.2 million days. Oh, 3,287 years. But it means you're close. He's in the lineup. Oh, we like it. Okay. Oh, now we're looking at something. Look, it is working because look at this, guys. The sons of Jesse presented before you, contenders for the throne. I think we've actually got a fine selection, but we are missing one category, and that is the most handsome son. Yeah! Hang on. Pipe down, listen to me. I realise that this can cause a little bit of tension. And actually, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, yes? Yes, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And so, I have come up with a plan. And the plan is simple. It is this. In a second, I'm going to get the boys to put a picture on the screen of like an ideal specimen. Okay. And we will see who out of the sons in the room looks closest to the ideal specimen. Let's see the picture of the ideal specimen. And is there anyone in the room? Who can't walk? He can't walk. He's hopping. There he is. He's not the fittest. He's the most handsome son in the room. Bring him up the front. Give him a chair. That's amazing. You're there. Look, spitting image there. Oh man. Right, I'm exhausted already. Don't let you. Right then. So this is how it went. Similar to this, very similar. Samuel travelled a long way, went to the house of Jesse, and several sons were pulled out. Probably like this: the tallest, strongest, most handsome, skillful, wisest, most intelligent sons, and they've stood there before Samuel. And it's quite an incredible story, some of you will know it. As Samuel went down the line and looked at each one, it says that he looked and he was like, surely this guy, look at him, it's going to be the one. And God said, no, I've not chosen him. He said, no, I've not chosen him. And he said, no, I've not chosen him. 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 No. Yeah, we're going to stay there. He said, no, I've not chosen him. Samuel went down the line, and God said clearly to each one, no, I've not chosen each of these sons. And there was a bit of a moment of like, well, hang on a minute, like, what's going on? Like, Jesse's put forward all the cream of the crop, he's put forward his sons, and it wasn't any of them. And then he said, Jesse, have you got any more sons? And he said, well, there's a youngest son, and he's out looking after the sheep. Let's have the youngest son in the room. So we're looking for a year 8. I'm thinking it's got to be Caleb Wells, because he was born in June. So Caleb, stand up. Anyone younger than Caleb, he is going to be how old in June? 13 in June. The youngest son. And God said to Samuel, this is the one. This is the future king of Israel. Now what's interesting, it does say that actually he was quite good looking and he was quite rugged, it was quite positive about it, but it said that God hadn't chosen him for anything that was on the outside, like these other sons, that all these things we could kind of judge on the outside. He said, I've not chosen this youngest son, and his name was David. He said, I've not chosen him for anything on the outside, I've chosen him because of his heart. He's got a great heart. And we get this verse that's really, really important for us. It says, man looks at the outside appearance, but God looks at the heart. He looks inside us. He sees the kind of person we are. And and God said to Samuel, I've chosen this guy because of his heart. And we can read further in the Bible, it says David had a heart after God. He had a heart that was full of worship for God, that was loving, that was kind, that was for justice. And he said, that's important. That is what's important. And guys, that's the simplest message I can bring to you today, and it is this, that what is important is not what's on the outside, it's what's on the inside. Now, we're pretty good at looking after the outside, okay? Now, most of us, hopefully, wash and brush our teeth. And I enjoyed a fresh trim this morning. Maybe we just give a bit of attention. We're good at giving a bit of attention to the outside. We're good at presenting ourselves how we want to, but most of us probably have certain colours we're happy to wear, certain colours we don't want to wear. We have a sort of bit of an image that we want to project, and we might have the sort of photos we'd be quite happy to upload on social media. We're aware of the outside. We're quite image-driven, aren't we? And actually, we find it easy to give some time and attention to the outside. Like, how much time do we give to the inside? How much time do we give to evaluating our hearts, to thinking about what our hearts are like? Because God says that's the most important, and God sees it. For some of you, you might say, I really struggle with the outside of myself in different ways. And the message to you today is God looks at the heart, and He's looking at who you are, and He wants to see what kind of person you are. And that is most important. We're going to have just a little quick think about that. How do we examine our heart? How do we give time to it? What do we need to do that? So if we can just jump into some groups, just put into groups of 4 or 5 around the room quickly. Thank you, David. King David. If you can put into groups of 4 and 5, and if leaders can scatter themselves around as well. And we're just going to put some questions up just for a few minutes, just for 4 or 5 minutes on the screen, if we can. Maybe before that, actually, can you leave that back on Psalm 139? I'm just going to read this psalm to us. Look at these brilliant words now on the screen. This was a psalm of David. David wrote loads of songs of praise and worship to God. Turn your eyes to the screen a second and read this with me. It says in Psalm 139, which is one of his most famous psalms, he talks about God knowing him, and then he invites God to examine him. And this is what he says: God, I invite your searching gaze into my heart. Examine me through and through. Find out everything that may be hidden within me. Put me to the test and sift through all my anxious cares. See if there is any path of pain I'm walking on, lead me back to your glorious, everlasting ways, the path that brings me back to you. If we just go on to the questions, so in your groups, just for a few minutes, I want you to ask these questions. How can we examine the state of our hearts? Okay? How can we do that? What are some good questions that we can ask ourselves? Right? Try and come up with a question each that you can ask yourself to examine the state of your heart. Can God help us with this? How can He help us? Where are we going to do this? And be specific. When and where are you going to do this? And then someone pray for the group. So you've just got a few minutes, just quickly. Turn, leaders, scatter yourself around. There's a few guys here, leader. Just a few minutes, quickly talking about these things. How can we examine the state of our heart? What are some good questions to ask?